Qualitative studies such as online interviews or online survey stands at a critical juncture where it causes ontological fracture and a systematic degradation in data depth. A simple online survey or online interview can ignore weak response results from participants. I am Xian together with my collaborator Suma PARAHAKARAN. We are investigating mixed probing tactics in longitudinal qualitative interviews. The objective here is to look beyond the written text and to focus on conceptualizing probing techniques to solve digital-based qualitative research. The methodological gap is that when we shift to online platforms, this research method can be identified as rather as epistemological, meaning that it strips away the intersubjective space and it strips away essential paralinguistic cues found in traditional fieldwork. This results in truncated, textualized data which lacks depth and nonverbal cues. For example, there will be a lower percentage of responses which comes in rich, long narrative as participants often tend to provide quick responses or short text when they respond to an online survey or online interview. What does this mean? It means that capturing data can lack depth and validity concerns. And there are many recent literature which have highlighted this, that interviews or online surveys often result as a transactional ecosystem between the participant and the study. It means that there is performative distance, guarded response from the participants, and tinned data. The objective, therefore, is also to solve shallow response bias by understanding the concept of satisficing. Means that as participants get distracted in the digital environment or in the study process, there's a need to look into what other ways to influence deeper cognitive processing and introduce least resistance from the participant to response. Why? The objective is to ensure that when we collect responses, it is not just a surface level data. Standard prompts in interview can be weak research method due to some silences in the responses, broken feedback loop, or external distractions in participants which are responding or participating in remote settings. The literature review results shows that there's a need for remote elicit by addressing the implicit experience and the way participants can express themselves in remote settings and online platforms. One way to do that is to add structure, process during interview and surveys. For example, introducing different props in the digital mechanisms so that participants can reconstruct their responses and experiences, or to introduce digital journals or mapping techniques so that participants can offer richer detail. The key finding is that mixed probing technique is not a random assortment of questions, but rather two distinct modalities improvising a combination of imagery interviews and repetitive reflection to solve shallow response bias. The first pillar is introducing images to trigger effective memory, which results to better externalization of responses by participants. And the second pillar is to introduce repetitive reflection so that participants can synthesize information and respond in a much high quality manner. In conclusion, by using mixed probing methods, a deep narrative validity can be obtained for online qualitative research interviews. This is the reference list. Muito obrigada pelo interesse no sustento trabalho. Sou uma investigadora interdisciplinar e colaboro com especialistas de todo o mundo. O projeto que apresente está a ser desenvolvido numa das melhores universidades privadas da Ásia. Esteja à vontade para me contactar a e-mail para eventuais coautoras ou colaborações futuras. Obrigada.